Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining TiE Talks, webinar number 5. Today, we bring another exciting topic, a very interesting one for all of you. Thanks for joining. So, quickly, before we go there, here are the stats of TiE Hyderabad, which is a membership-driven organization. The chapter Hyderabad has about 153 charter members who are supporting, mentoring, and guiding the startups and the students within our ecosystem and aspiring entrepreneurs. Uh, as a chapter, we receive a lot of global awards from the TiE Global. We are very happy for all your support. And thank you again for joining. Before we jump into the topic, here are the guidelines for all participants. You will be muted most all through the session, and only the panelists and the moderator get to speak. Should you have any questions for the moderator to give it to any other panelist for answering your question, please type in the questions box. We'll be sequencing the questions for the moderator. With that, without much ado, we'd like to jump in. So today's topic is to celebrate the entrepreneurial success of 6 of our Hyderabadi founders who were featured in Forbes Asia 30 under 30. To take us through this conversation, I'd like to invite Sri Charan Lakaraju, who is 2018 Forbes Asia 30 under 30 founder from Hyderabad. He is very active in the startup ecosystem, and he's also a accomplished student mentor running a student online discovery platform. He calls it 2Mag. Over to you, Charan. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and this was one of the most waited, and good to see lots of attendees logging in at the same time. Today, first of all, congratulations to all the 6, and it's a moment of pride for everyone during this time. So, because it's about we need some positive news every day. Is the sound clear, right?
Yes, it's loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So now, because we want majority of the webinar or today, it will be on the podcast mode itself for majority of the time. So what we will do is, without wasting time, I'll try to introduce everyone, and I request the specific founder to give opening remarks and a message in less than a minute. So the first person in the alphabetical order is Ashwin from TiE. Congratulations, Ashwin.
Thank you so much, Charan.
First, kindly, Ashwin co-founded the TiE factory along with his brother Yashwant, and everyone knows the TiE factory is a household brand for majority of the people in all the metros in India now and overseas too. So I request Ashwin to give a brief introduction and how are you feeling being in the Forbes 30 under 30 list?
So first of all, thank you so much, Charan and TiE Talks for organizing this thing and for recognizing us first. First of all, I'm extremely excited to be, I woke up to the message that we've been selected as Forbes 30 under 30, and it was a very unreal moment, because I mean, that was probably a dream come true and something that a lot of people would work towards and stuff like that, and it just happened, and we're damn excited that this has happened. So just to give you an introduction about the TiE factory, so I and my brother, we have co-founded the company in 2013 December, and we aimed to rechange or redefine what a milkshake actually stood for in India, because back then the time was a milkshake meant that you were getting a flavored milk at $20 and $30, and that is all what we were settling for. But what we were actually getting abroad, and the quality of the milkshakes and everything was way higher than what we were ever getting here. So that was the reason why we wanted to start a brand completely focused on thick shakes, specialized in thick shakes. And we went ahead and scaled up after we tested the market for the first 1 year. And today we have 130 outlets pan India, and we have one international outlet as well. So it's been a fantastic journey right from the start. And to be very honest, I mean, obviously nobody works for getting Forbes under 30 or something like that. So I mean, I would really say that we worked in for our company, and we worked for the baby that we've created. And it's damn exciting that our works and efforts have been recognized by brands such as Forbes. So it's really an amazing time in this in these times, actually.
Awesome, Ashwin. So the next founder was part of Forbes 30 under 30, Pavan Kumar from Skyroot. Congratulations, Pavan. And
Thanks a lot.
so Pavan, a brief profile. He graduated from IIT Kharagpur, and he's a dual degree in mechanical engineering. Worked in Rocket Center of ISRO for 6 years. That's a dream for many. And over to you, Pavan. What's in store at Skyroot? And anything except your stealth mode discussions you can happily share with the audience today.
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot, Charan and TiE, for putting this up. And in fact, like you guys have done it in just a couple of days. It's very amazing. And firstly, to introduce about Skyroot, so we are one of the leading space tech companies in India. So basically, when it comes to space, we only hear about ISRO. But if you see, like space has been commercialized from quite some time, and there's a lot to privatize, especially in India, because like if you might be seeing, like ISRO has launched a lot of foreign satellites. It's been like one of the top organizations in the world to launch a lot of satellites for foreign customers. But still, like in the international market, we are less than 1%. So there's a lot of things to be done in India, and that's what motivated me to start Skyroot along with my co-founder, who's also a former scientist at ISRO. So basically, what till now in space there are hardly like 1,500 satellites, but in the next 10 years, more than 10,000 satellites needs to be launched. So there's a huge opportunity which comes into space, a very specialized skill set which is required, and all the skill set is available in India, and India has been a spacefaring nation for the last 50 years. So that's what we're starting with. We're starting on the first private ventures out of India, and look forward to the next 10, 20 years. We look forward to build one of the most exciting space companies out of India.
Awesome. Hope Elon Musk is called as Pavan of the world. So next founder is Arun Hyderabadi, local boy. Again, he is known to many in the ecosystem and to the majority of the attendees also. His Prem Kumar. Congrats, Prem, for getting into the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Another IITian in the whole panel. Today we have a very diversified Forbes list from Hyderabad. It's not from one sector. And Prem runs Marut Drone Tech, and he's a graduate engineer from IIT Guwahati. Over to you, Prem. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Is it audible clear?
Yes. Go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic to see everyone at one place and everything. So as everybody said, like, we are a very young organization, 11 months old, and it's been run by like 3 IIT Guwahati alumni and passionate to solve towards the problem. Where we started with the problem solving, and we ventured into the opportunity where tried to build a product in the course of a time, and so widely we've been known as like problem solver in the drone space, trying to bring the emerging technologies like IoT, AI, data analytics together. And at present, we are fighting towards the COVID, and I'm literally talking from the field from Sangareddy and everything. So, majorly, we are looking at to create a sustainable solutions for the mosquito eradication, to the afforestation, and to the last mile medical delivery, and to create something inclusive future for everyone, kind of a stuff. So, in short, we are bringing drones and the emerging technologies to solve the real world problems which we face, you and me and everybody face.
Awesome, Prem. And literally, we kudos Prem. He is in the middle of affairs now. He's in Sangareddy spraying and sanitizing the environment there. So next person on the list, Sandeep Emeriti from Add-on Mo, the most visible guy. At least his products are visible to everyone in Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Delhi's now. Congratulations, Sandeep. Over to you, Sandeep. Yeah.
Thanks, Sharan, and Funny, thank you for organizing this. So actually, I have a very strong TiE proponent at home. My uncle, who always encourages me to attend TiE webinars, and this is my first. So I'm glad I'm able to speak in this webinar. About add-on, so essentially this idea kind of to put some advertising on car kind of hit me when I was in Goa. I saw this car saying "Tonight Party at Anjana Beach." So then it kind of caught my eye because that's a great way to advertise. And then there are like hundreds of cars on the road all the time. But when we started, Shravant and I, we obviously very quickly realized that the whole outdoor space of Indian cities is going to kind of evolve in a very massive way over the next 10 years, especially because most of the communication today is happening in very flexi and vinyl kind of a style. And obviously, it only makes sense to go digital. And then once digitalized, we'll have a lot of advantages in terms of targeting, contextualizing content, a very minority report kind of scenario. So we started there with cabs. So today, biggest presence is also in cabs. But what we're increasingly doing is building a platform which makes any digital screen smart. So we have done live cricket scores to even before COVID, we were the first to kind of start publicizing the precautionary measures because our go-to audience time is literally like a minute. So yeah, we look forward to kind of taking this solution, not just a Capta, but the platform to across India, all the cities, and then Southeast Asia.
All the best, Sandeep. Looking forward to your exciting journey. So the next panelist today is Sukendra from Chesba, and the social entrepreneur in the whole panel today. And Chesba, what Chesba means, and there are almost 180 people. The moment Sukendra came in, a lot of people joined the webinar now, I guess. Sukendra, congratulations. Over to you, Sukendra.
Thanks a lot, Charan. To start off answering the question, Chezuba means thank you in Burmese. So the story starts with me at IIT. I founded ISEC chapter, which is a student body which lets people to volunteer abroad. So that's where the love of volunteering came from. Later on, I moved to work for a startup in Russia, then was working for a gaming company in Taiwan. Finally came back to India, and while backpacking in Myanmar was when I decided to pen down this idea, laid out the business model, called a couple of friends that I had to co-found Chezuba with me. It means thank you. That's the first word I heard when I finally decided to start this. It was catchy. The domain was available, and it means thank you, which is very relevant to what we do. So I was like, yeah, let's just call it Chezuba. That's how it started. So we are an online volunteering platform. We facilitate nonprofits from across the globe. So they come onto the platform, they create volunteering projects which can be completed online. So a nonprofit can, for example, say, I need some changes on my website. I need some content to be translated. I need some graphics to be designed. Literally anything and everything which can be done online, they can list as projects. And skilled professionals from across the world, whether they are a student, a retired person, or an employee of a company, they could just take these projects in their free time and complete it for the nonprofit, essentially saving tons of money for the nonprofit, as well as letting the person create impact from their comfort zone. So it's been a couple of years. We started this on October 19th, 2017. So a little more than 2 years now. And in these 2 years, we have worked with NGOs from 38 countries and volunteers from more than 100 countries have used our platform. We also do corporate volunteering, where we facilitate employees of corporates to volunteer online. So we work with corporate giants like the Tata Group, Cognizant, NASCOM, etc. Yeah, that's pretty much a summary of what Chezuba is about.
Awesome, Sukendra. Anyone who has Jazba should get into Chesba. Tonight, Jazba means the energy, I guess, in Hindi. Yeah. Okay. So now I guess we have the next person who is everywhere now. Every home needs him now. Is Vihari just Vihari has lots of achievements this year. He said YC, Y Combinator from Hyderabad, now into the Forbes list. He's the man who under the spotlight. Vihari, congratulations, man. The Vihari is a CMA and management accountant, not an IITian here. There are lots of other IITians. Vihari, you're online.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Vihari. Your investors are all also on the webinar list, Vihari. You should talk in a very smooth manner, man. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, TiE, and it's I think it's my first webinar with TiE, and thank you for putting me on this. So just to introduce Urban Kisan, we build vertical farms in India and sell the produce directly to consumers through a subscription-based app. So we started off in 2017 when we wanted to solve two problems. One is a customer-centric problem that consumers today do not have the choice to choose better produce. If you have ever been to a supermarket, you'll find a lot of brands in everything, like from milk to oats and all of that. But when you go to a F&B space, that's the fruits and vegetable space, consumer behavior suddenly changes. Instead of him choosing what is best for him, he tries to pick whatever is visibly good to him. And he knows that most of the produce is contaminated, but as a consumer, he's helpless but to choose whatever is available from the supermarket space. So we wanted to change that, and we wanted to do it in a very sustainable way. If you see, agriculture hasn't evolved much in the last couple of decades. It's the same old practices, and most of the cities are also running out of water. So we wanted to solve both the problems at the same time, and we started building farms right in the city. Just to give an idea, we have one farm in Jubilee Hills, other in Manikonda. Consumers can directly walk into the farm and buy off the shelf, which is produced growing right there. So you are harvesting your own produce, which is a great consumer experience. You should definitely visit one of our farms. And we're also doing it in a very sustainable way. We use 95% less water. We don't use any soil. We grow 30 times more production. And like you said, this has been a very fabulous year for us. We have been recently funded by Y Combinator, one of the leading global accelerators. Yeah.
Awesome. Great, Vihari. I've personally visited Urban Kisan's farm, so I can vouch for it. And hope we have more farms in every part of the city so that it becomes so easy to walk in. So now we'll just take, I'll try to play the devil's advocate here and have a round of a small elevator pitch by everyone. So I think we can just go from Vihari and in the backward way. So what's Urban Kisan in a minute? So how can you define what's Urban Kisan in a minute and how to do an elevator pitch? Because now everyone here have raised funds or spoke to investors in their past, because majority of the attendees today would always love to know how do you do an elevator pitch. So I thought let's start with a basic elevator pitch about your product or company. So I'll start with Vihari. What's your elevator pitch to an investor?
Sure. So we build vertical farms in India and deliver the freshest produce to households through subscriptions. We are at 2 farms and we have grown to 11 farms in the last 1 month. And we are serving more than 2,000 households at this point. And we are currently cash positive, and we try to solve consumer-centric problem and a sustainability problem in the agriculture space. And the market is huge. It is more than a $50 billion market we're trying to address. And we started off with Hyderabad. We're a team of 25. And the value proposition we offer is we give 10x better produce quality at the same price, with an impact being created for every square feet we grow.
Great. Sukendra?
Yeah. Well, Chezuba provides a one-stop destination to post and find international skill-based online volunteering opportunities. There's a lot of jargon there. So let me put it this way. Last year, 1 billion people have volunteered in some form or the other. A lot of them, and at least 3 billion people have access to the internet. So the population is 7 billion. So there's 6 billion people who still can contribute back to society in some form or the other. And our objective is to let everyone have a chance to create an impact. There are more than 10 million nonprofits worldwide, which out of which 89% of them are not prepared to scale for impact. And in fact, there was a Forbes report itself which said that 72% of the skilled professionals are looking for impact opportunities, and more than 2/3 of them do not find it. So this is where the millennials were heading towards Maslow's hierarchy and are looking for impact opportunities and are unfortunately not finding it. So here is Chezuba bridges the gap. We help NGOs to create online volunteering projects so that they can outsource their tasks to professionals. Thereby, we increase their efficiency and reduce the cost by at least 10 times. And in the process, we provide online volunteering opportunities for millennials from across the globe. And we assist skilled workforce in finding impact projects this way. We also work with corporates so that their employees can volunteer and the corporate's social brand is better built. In the last 2.5 years, we've launched the product on March 22nd, 2018. So it's been a little over 2 years now. And in the last 2 years, we have worked closely with more than 3,200 NGOs from about 38 countries. And more than 65,000 people have registered as online volunteers, and they come from more than 100 countries. We also work with big corporate giants like Tata Group, Cognizant, NASCOM, etc. 2020 is our big year. We're looking to work closely with about 10,000 nonprofits and have about 500,000 volunteers on board. And we are hoping to get positive cash flow by end of 2021.
Awesome. I know now where to go to get a volunteering opportunity, man. So hope I'll travel as many countries as you did, Sukendra, soon. So the next one who is going to pitch, Sandeep.
Hi, Sharon. So, like I was saying, the core problem that we were trying to address is how do we make out-of-home communications more targeted and interesting. So that essentially is the one-line problem we're trying to solve. The communication is not necessarily just advertising, right? It's just not brand communication. It might be any message that's actually useful to the person looking at that message at that moment in time. So it can be something as important as a message which says give way to ambulance when there's an ambulance coming behind you. Or it can just be IKEA advertising its sale and asking you to walk into the store, right? So that's the kind of problem we're solving. So today, Indian outdoors are just 2% digitalized, right? So over the next 10 years, it's going to be as high as 50%. So which would mean millions of screens are going to come outdoors. So these screens should not be used just for advertising. If anyone's just doing that, then it's a very big blunder, I should say. So these screens are actually meant to do proper communication. So what we are trying to do is kind of integrate this experience where we'll not just do advertising, but we'll also do useful smart city messages ranging from simple awareness to traffic rerouting to weather updates and something, as I said, like give way to an ambulance kind of a message. So that's what we're focusing on. So we're trying to bring in all these millions of screens onto our platform and then enable them to do the smart messaging. So so far, we've raised about a little over $3 million. So our most recent round from Alibaba's early stage investment fund. Right now we're just very small. We're just about 50% team, only about 1,500 screens in India. But we see the next decade to be a great opportunity for this space. And we're also super excited about the recession now, because this would mean that we'll have a lot of opportunities to kind of grab a lot of space at a very cheap price. I mean, over the next 1 year, we look forward to just taking the solution to other countries as well outside India.
Awesome. Next, we have Prem from Maruth.
Hello everyone. Is it audible, my voice?
Yeah, a bit louder, that would be great.
Yeah. So I and few of my drones that provides the end-to-end drone solutions and more of introducing the emerging technologies to it. Just not the drone, it's with the IoT, AI, and the drone. So we believe that our work is building more inclusive and sustainable future to provide the unique solutions, such as one of the unique solutions we provide is this the mosquito eradication and disease prediction. Then we've been working in the space of now the afforestation for scalable reforestation and the sustainable agriculture and the last mile connectivity for the blood medicines and vaccines and everything. So I'm in nutshell, what we're trying to do is we have identified 4 problems where we're trying to we have gone depth to build a product where it's like working with the governments where most of the time we are working with the state government, like government of Telangana, and then going forward we are expanding to 2 other municipalities like Rajkot, Ahmedabad, with the help of like PwC and a couple of the people. We are taking their help and to scale it up. So. Going forward for us, and example uh, to give you the present from last 2 3 from 1 week at least. As you know, the social isolation is happening where human contact is need to be bare minimum, and there are tons of work, and we want to reduce this number and further help them to fight this better in the possible way. So we're using drones, where we're using these drones for the prevention and control of the COVID coronavirus, where we extensively using for the disinfection, for the more crowd control and the public health warnings, and they're trying to use for the identification of human body temperatures. And lastly, we've demonstrated of the medical delivery, and we get to see. So currently working with the districts and border districts of Telangana, where we're trying to extensively working with the collectors and the municipal commissioners. So overall, we're serving the community in this demanding time where the drones have become very critical and very useful to solve the problem.
Awesome. Excuse Prem actually because he's in the site where he is currently spraying and serving the community. He's also one of the frontline forces like our doctors now. So next we have Pavan from Skyroot. We should call it as a Uberization of spacecrafts.
Yeah, that's right, Charan. So basically, what we are doing is we are building India's first private rockets to put commercial satellites into space. So, in a nutshell, what we do is we provide transportation service from Earth to space for the satellites. And recently, there have been like more than 6x increase in demand for launching satellites, with more than 10,000 satellites to be launched in the next 10 years. While the number of rockets to launch them is quite low. So there's a clear supply and demand gap in the sector, and it's a very specialized field, and very few people who are around the world, even very few countries around the world have the capability to build rockets, and India is one of the leading countries among them. So both our founders, me and Bharat, we are former scientists of ISRO, and we have worked on rocket projects for the government before. We have a current team size of 35 plus people with a combined experience of more than 300 years in the aerospace industry. So we raised capital from marquee investors like Mukesh Bansal, who's founder of Myntra and CuteFate, and then Solar Industries, which is a $1.5 billion market cap company, and more investors joining us soon. So what we provide lowest cost per kg to satellite customers. We do it at 60% cheaper developmental cost and 40% cheaper unit cost than most of our customers. Thanks, Charan.
Awesome. Hope you can send Corona away to space, man. So, the next person, I guess there are lots of questions coming from the audience. I call it as audience because it's literally an audio session, and I know we wanted to save your data space, man, because lots of data being consumed by everyone at home. So we thought this would be podcast, so more people will be listening very concentratedly. So the last one, Thick Shake Factory. Summer is coming. Yep.
Thank you, Charan. So if I would just have to briefly talk about the Thick Shake Factory, we are actually a dessert brand and we are in the indulgent space. So that's to put it very concisely, because we are a country, I mean, India is a country where we celebrate moments with sweetness or with indulgence, right? So that's where the need aspect of it has actually come. And when you're happy, when you're having a dinner and you want to have something else after dinner, you enjoy having a dessert. And that's usually the space that we actually wanted to be in initially. So we've captured that particular space by creating a segment of thick shakes. So I remember 6 years ago when before we have started or when we have just started, for us getting space in the malls was really tough because people were like, how can you sustain a brand with only shakes? Why don't you sell something in food as well or something like that? But we've proved that there are a lot of customers exclusively wanting specific type of shakes, a very premium quality of shakes, and that's the market that we have been in, and we have kept evolving ourselves over a period of time. And considering that we've expanded, so we started with one outlet in Hyderabad, and we.
Awesome. So now we had a one round of pitching and thing. So the next question, it's like, this is the most common question which everyone is asking. It's like, how are you guys supporting within your company to fight against this precarious situation now? It's like, with the whole Corona thing, and how are you coping up? Because there's lots of business, because we have more than 200 plus attendees now, and majority of them run their companies or want to run their startups. How to fight such a unpredicted situation, and what are you guys doing? Any one solution which you are following up? We'll start with Ashwin again. Hello. Hello, Ashwin.
Charan, yes, I had a internet failure actually, so sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking earlier. So from the space that we were in earlier, where we have created one brand specifically into thick shakes, we have slowly expanded to the presence of the country, and we've expanded pan India. And now what we see our capabilities as is that we are able to create a good valuable brand, and we are currently right now in the F&B space, in the beverages space, in the dessert space. So it's very niche where we currently are. And what we've realized is that because there is a lot of people who are currently moving towards the convenience aspect of it, say, for example, on ordering online. I think most of us do that right now, and especially during this pandemic time, I think for anybody to have anything from outside, it's completely online. So it is good that we've actually already started our pivot towards moving a lot towards the online channel approach. So what we've also decided is that one, we want to expand our territory online so that the cost of distribution is much lesser, the cost of setting up is much lesser, and it's easy to capture that 50-60% of the sale that is actually coming in from online. And apart from that, what we realize is that we can create good valuable brands in F&B. So we are also in the process of creating more number of brands. Say for example, one in more in beverages and more in F&B regarding the products that will be serving to the customers. So we're looking at serving ice creams, we're looking at serving bubble teas, we're looking at serving some food, we're looking at serving some waffles. So we see ourselves creating, being the curator of multiple brands, and through the same distribution point, we want to scale them up at a very large scale. So this is the pivot we were actually going through right before this Corona thing started. But considering the fact that right now online is the only option for anybody to sell food right now at this point of time, I think the pivot is directly in line with whatever is the future course of action. So I think this is something that the company is right now doing, and to tell you briefly about it, I think this would be it.
Awesome. So can anyone reach out in the audience to you that they can set up a cloud kitchen for Thick Shake at their place?
I think, yeah, at least we'll encourage the conversations for sure.
Awesome. Okay. So Pavan, yeah.
Yeah. So regarding the COVID situation, the first thing we're doing is increasing the awareness. And in fact, I feel that at this point of time, when there's no vaccine when there is no drug to solve it. The only thing is, the only pill we have is the knowledge pill. So first thing we're doing is creating a very good awareness among all our employees to take individual responsibilities, because we're first explaining how dangerous the virus is. For example, the R0 virus is like 2 to 3. That means it can, each person will spread it to 3 people. Just imagine the exponential spread it can cause. And most importantly, most youngsters are in a feeling that, even if they get COVID, it's not a big problem because they're not going to die out of it. But we clearly told, we clearly created awareness that it's not the kind of thinking which is required, because you're going to spread it to the elders in your family, you're going to spread it to kids in your family, you're going to spread it all around. So it's very, very important to be responsible as individuals to handle the situation, practice social distancing, wash your hands, all the typical requirements which needs to be practiced. We're seeing that all of us practice is that we contribute as a team to the COVID situation out there. And also on a different note, we're also like doing some research on improving ventilators, because if you see, like, India has a very bad medical infrastructure. So being mechanical engineering, many of the people being engineers ourselves, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers. So we're just looking at solutions where create a different kind of ventilator, or in fact, one of the idea which we were proposing to few people who are taking efforts to handle the situation is like splitting of ventilators. In fact, each ventilator can be used, is splitted and used to treat like 4 to 10 people. So we have been like giving advisory to like few people who are experimenting on this, on how to create this, which valves to be used, what kind of tech to be incorporated, so that like more people can be treated using a single ventilator. So that increases like 4x to almost 9x increase in the people we can serve with the existing ventilator infrastructure. So two things we're doing. One is increasing the awareness among the people, and second thing is like trying to do something within the medical industry, proposing things which can create impact in the industry.
Awesome, Pavan. You know how to share things. You can share a spacecraft, so you can share a ventilator too. So, and people in the attendees, you should, as Pavan said, it's not just it's a social responsibility of everyone to chip in. Maybe we can launch something specific and invite ideas. If people have ideas, it's always good to approach people, people like Pavans and others who might be experts in mechanical engineering and can get a solution practically done. Next man, Prem is already in the middle of affairs. So Prem, blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I'm parallel listening, and I'm also trying to see what how people are doing it in parallelly. So yes, just like we've been like I don't know, during COVID time we become more busy than the normal time. Why? Because where the governments are chasing us, asking us, help us in this, disinfection, help us in surveillance, help us some this, that, and everything, and still we don't know who will pay us and who will give back us the money back and everything. But still we're giving all the efforts and attempts to help them in all the districts and border areas of Hyderabad, Maharashtra border area and Andhra border area. We're trying to use our drones, and the districts like Karimnagar, where you have this 10 to 11 the cases which have been identified.
Please come closer to the mic, please.
Yeah, so today we've been closely working with more of Sangareddy and Warangal and everything.
Prem, can you come closer to the mic? Voice is not audible.
So we've been extensively working in the field with the municipal people and more of police people, trying to help them for the disinfection, patrolling, and identification of this red zone, and we'll continuously working. So, and it's becoming very tough for us also is to, because of the team people have been extensively working, of people have been different locations, coordination, because our kind of a work is we never did this work from home or remotely kind of a stuff. Everything was in person, and we slowly adopting to the more of the parallelly doing the work, because at present parallelly there are like multiple drones have been flying different areas, and we've been how difficult to coordinate with the government guys, and we've been doing that work and helping them and doing it. It's very challenging and very tough, but it also in return we're trying to help, and we're getting that more of the super response from the people and from the government side also, that because the technology which we've been pushing it from last 10 months and 11 months is in place and has been helping them real time to go at present, and it's going on. So we're we're expecting next 2 months also busy with the work what we're doing it and essentially help as much as possible. So everybody be safe and this as Corona goes as soon as possible and make us the life as what it was earlier.
Awesome. So if you need any drone pilots, Prem, a lot of attendees are there online. Please approach Prem. They require volunteers now.
Definitely.
And next, Sandeep. I don't see any vehicles of add-on more online now. They're not. They're off the grid, right? Hello. Is Sandeep?
Sandeep, you're on mute.
Kindly unmute yourself, Sandeep. Maybe we'll just go to the next person before Sandeep unmutes himself. Hello. Is Sukendra online?
Yes, I am. So I will start off, and Sandeep can join later.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be very honest, this is, I would say, kind of a perfect time for us to realize for ourselves that how relevant is our solution to the world. We are an online volunteering company, right? So in fact, we envision a world where people are volunteering online because we believe that this is more practical and more productive. So the biggest challenge that we face, of course, like everyone else, is as much as we are a very diverse company and we can mostly work remotely, it's a long time, to be logged in, a lot of psychological issues and stuff. But the good part for us is most of our users, whether it's the nonprofits or the volunteers, there's a heavy spike or there's a trigger of a spike in terms of usage. More and more people are trying to volunteer online. A lot of nonprofits are now seeking support because they can't receive any on-ground support right now. So we have actually moved from 5-day work policy to 6-day work policy to cater to this massive need. Thankfully, we've got an awesome team who haven't resisted, and we're kind of in it together. What we have done is the lot of, I wouldn't call them pivots yet, but a lot of structural changes that we've done. Most of our volunteering projects right now are trying to educate nonprofits on how to move to remote working. Like nonprofits, they can come from different sectors, but a majority of them are fairly less tech savvy and all. So we're trying to educate them on, these webinars like GoToMeeting or Zoom. We're trying to bring them on to Drive from regular pen paper stuff. We're trying to help them move to remote working as much as possible. On the other side of it, people being locked down, we're trying to reach out to as many people as possible. I don't know, use a little bit of a marketing budget and get more people to use our platform to kind of give them an opportunity that, hey, you're stuck in your house, but don't be depressed. You can still make impact. You can still help people out there by using your skills online. From our side, since the growing demand is there, but we also understand the market situation in terms of this financial crash. Even if it hasn't happened yet, it will happen eventually. So this month, we have not charged nonprofits anything. So our business model is slightly changed there. We are offering a completely free solution to as many nonprofits as we can. That's made a lot of nonprofits also use our platform, mostly coming from Africa. That's also very triggered usage that we've seen. A lot of African nonprofits are trying to use this platform as well.
Great, Sukendra. I think Sandeep is back in line. So, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Guys, try to keep it short because we're running out of time. Where we have lots of questions from the audience, so I would love to take those questions with you guys. Yeah, Sandeep.
Sure. So, very simply, from a business point of view, the entire out-of-home industry is practically shut. From a revenue inflow point, we are at zero right now. So, what we're doing as a company is we're focusing on the product even more so, and we're trying to get as much customer feedback as possible. And we are also spending a lot of time on how do we prepare ourselves for the coming 12 to 15 months of downtime. And so while saying that, we're preparing a lot of collateral which would be necessary for post-lockdown and all. But on a social aspect side, so what we have done is obviously most of our drivers are revenue-less as no cabs are running. And what we have realized is a lot of them, they don't even have proper government ration and all of that, which is supposed to come yet. So what we've done is, despite no cabs moving around, we still reached out to the drivers, and we are trying to help out all of our partners with some kind of monetary incentive or help that we can do. And we'll be continuing to do that. And hopefully, obviously, spreading awareness and staying safe is the best way to avoid COVID and then suppress it. So we're doing that.
Awesome, man. So the essential man, Vihari.
Hey, so first thing is, we should acknowledge that all the startups are going through something very difficult, both a global pandemic and recession at the same time. This is going to be challenging. That's something which we should understand. But fortunately, it's been an upside for us, because most of the customers are now aware as to where the food is going to come from, how many people have touched the food, is it safe? All of those questions are something which is popping up in most of our customers. So we have seen a huge surge in the demand, and since we also are frontline in the frontline, so our farms are working 24/7. And all our employees are working 24/7 to ensure that all our customers are getting the best quality, best produce available to them always. So this has been a great learning experience for us, and this kind of surge is something which is a very good boost to the business as well. So yeah.
Awesome. So we'll start off with some questions that would be better. Because and there are lots of questions for everyone. Vamshi, kindly unmute everyone. I think Ashwin is on mute too. So yeah. So maybe the first question to start with, as a fellow entrepreneur, I know the most toughest question that are you not worried about the next round of funding because COVID has impact on the economy. The question is are you not worried about the next round of funding will be a challenge in view of COVID impact on economy? Any specific steps to increase the runway? Because everyone here has a kind of a runway. Runway, for people who don't understand it, is the number of months you survive even without earning a single rupee of revenue. So what are your plans, and do you think there will be any impact on funding? The question is for everyone, so anyone can chip in.
Well, I can start that off. What we have done personally is we also assume that there will be a zero revenue. I think that's going to be the case with most of the startups out there right now. So honestly, when the revenue is not going to come and investments would also fairly dry out, or at least most of the investors would be conservative. So one step that we have taken to extend our runway or mostly double up our runway is reduce the fixed costs, which is we've all taken cuts, starting from the top. The bigger salaries guys take bigger cuts, but it's been more or less a unanimous move. Employees have themselves come volunteered and said we should take a bigger cut than what you are even proposing. So taking cuts, I think, is inevitable if you want to avoid firing, layoffs. I think that's you have to realize that you're in it all together. So that's the biggest step that we have taken to extend our runway, but there's honestly not much available beyond that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
And just to add to the point, so there are some knowns and unknowns, right? Like, for example, at this point, the most important thing in your entire startup is going to be the cash in your bank account. And we are going to assume that there'll be very few customers. If funding, unless you're in talks with someone, would be very difficult at this point of time. So we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long the recession and which sectors will bounce back first. So first thing is try to bring down your fixed costs. If you have huge rentals, there is a force majeure clause in all your agreements. have a look into that and see if you can invoke that and bring down your fixed costs and just be alive.
Awesome. Nice one. Because we'll take other questions too, because we listened to a couple of opinions. Maybe there are lots of questions to Ashwin here. Is Ashwin online, right? Yeah. We have
Yes, Charan.
lots of fans of Thick Shake Factory.
Thank you so much.
So
My pleasure.
I'll read out 2-3 questions so that you can answer in one go.
Okay.
Mr. Ashwin, what tests you carry out to get certified is one. Second, what is the next F&B trend in Hyderabad do you see booming? We have Ramki type dosas, shawarmas, mandi, which started in individual localities and spread. So the other question is like, how, when dine-in is completely shut down, how to survive the fixed cost, rents and loyal employee salaries during this COVID-19, and the rents are also high rents. Yeah.
Absolutely. So can you repeat the first question? I didn't actually get it completely.
The first question is, what are the tests that you carry out to get certified as a F&B player? Tests, maybe that FSSAI certificate.
FSSAI, got it. So at this point of time, to answer the first question, regular FSSAI norms are obviously not up to date with the COVID-19 norms. So I think at this point of time, everybody needs to focus on what the WHO has been focusing on, which is to make sure that whoever is the staff is currently working or having any contact with the product that you're making, the hygiene of the place as well as the hygiene of the employees is the first and foremost thing. So we start off with checking the temperatures of all the staff coming in and around, and if there are any spikes, we're of course asking them to stay back at home. And second, we're asking them to wash their hands every half an hour with soap for at least 20 minutes or for 20 seconds. And at the same time, we're also making sure that there is as little contact as possible. So every delivery boy who actually walks in with respect to Swiggy or Zomato to our store right now, they are given sealed containers, so sealed bags, which are handled by our staff with utmost care and precaution. They sanitize their hands and they keep washing their hands after every preparation of the shake. And none of the products that actually are consumed are touched by bare hands. So just to make sure that they're wearing masks. When the delivery boy comes, the delivery boy also is offered sanitizer, and then the package is handed over to them. So I think more than the FSSAI standards at this point of time, I think we really need to focus on what the WHO is recommending. And to move on to the second question, I think, Hyderabad, to be very honest, I was born and brought up over here. So Hyderabad is the best place for food. I've fought with so many of my friends over the many years saying that Hyderabad is the best place for food. And I still stand by that because anything that is trending usually first crops up in Hyderabad, at least with respect to food. Let it be ice creams, let it be shakes, let it be dosas, let it be any street food that is coming up. So I still feel that, Hyderabad would consume anything which is good to the palates. And I believe that we have a very good palate, and we actually take only what is the best. So the question that has come out as Ramki Bandi, it's definitely good because it's one of the best dosas that's out there. So I think anything which has a very good product and anything which has a slightly modern twist to it, I think that would be trending. And I don't see COVID-19 or anything stopping it, because right now at this point of time, we are delivering online. And even though most of our standalone stores or most of our walk-in sale has almost come down to zero, even though that has happened, our delivery proportion has actually gone up majorly compared to pre-corona period to right now. The number of online orders have spiked up, and we see this trend continuing, especially that this is a summer. So I really think that people are still. I think when people are ordering online, the first and foremost thing that they choose is the delivery partner, as long as they're sure of the quality of the food or beverages that is being made within the store. I think that gives them the kind of trust feeling that you can order from these brands, that we know that these are the standards that these brands follow. So it is safe for us to consume from these brands. So I think that's the kind of trust that is most needed at this point of time. And if that is there, and if you're offering the really good quality products, so I think people are very much out there looking to take a break from home and want to still order from outside. Right.
And
did I miss a third question?
Yeah, the third one is very. It's like, how are you fighting with this high rental costs and
Right. So I think
are,
Vihari has just mentioned the same. What we are doing as an organization is first we are reaching out to all the landlords and we are asking them for a levy at this point of time, because these are tough times for them as for us as well as for all the employees and everybody in the market. So what we are doing is we are asking all the rentals to be put on hold for the next couple of months. And yeah, as Vihari mentioned, we're invoking the force majeure clause wherever it's required. But most of the times, I think the landlords are also quite understanding that they would want to help us out at this point of time, because even they cannot take a tough stand that, I don't think the new tenant is going to come up and set up a store in your presence. So please understand that you guys actually have some kind of strong ground at this point of time. And secondly, with respect to the employee costs also, we are deferring the salaries. We're not doing any cuts at this point of time, but we're deferring it because cash is the most important thing right now. And at this point of time, it's very uncertain of when the lockdown would be lifted and when things would actually get back to normal. It's all
right.
speculation. Nobody really knows anything, and one wrong move can also hinder the progress that has been made so far. We've been seeing that in the news also from the last couple of days. So I really think that
Correct.
in this times of uncertainty, it is best to keep as much cash with you as possible and be as frugal as possible. Try not to spend on anything that is unnecessary. Whatever your outside costs are, try to cut them down. Rentals anyways you don't have to pay. You can also reach out to your banks for a moratorium for your EMIs and everything, including your credit cards. So your
Right.
vehicle loans, your home loans, your business loans, your working capital loans,
Very.
everything is actually everything can be postponed for the next couple of months. So please reach out to your banks and please make sure that you're getting as much leeway and as much help as you can at this point of time. Yes, I know there is an interest component which is quite expensive as well, but you sustaining and you surviving at this point of time is the most important thing right now. So I think
No,
cutting
I
down
know.
your costs and holding on to the payments is the best way to go forward.
Awesome, Ashwin. The last couple of questions, man, because I wanted to finish with lots of questions for you. I think I'll restrict to a couple of them. Maybe a short
Sure.
answer would do. Uh,
Yeah.
one is, what's the cost for setting up a thick shake factory?
So I think
You can't.
initially standalone stores used to be around 25 lakhs of investment, but now we're looking at setting up cloud kitchens, which is probably around 15 to 20 lakhs of investment with multiple brands in the same cloud kitchen. So keep it short.
Awesome. It's a nice one. And the only person who hates when mom says don't eat outside or don't drink outside is Ashwin. So if someone says, like, you should eat and trust good brands, it's always safe because they maintain good
And actually,
standards.
because of us, a lot of people have been drinking milk-based products. So I think you're
Maybe we
welcome.
should release a statement. So I think the next majority of the questions, because there are lots of questions here, and I wanted to respect all the 190 plus live attendees who are not even moving out. So it's very thankful to everyone. We'll be extending the session. We'll be answering all the questions. Majority of them we'll try to do as much as possible. The next number of questions are high to another essential guy, the healthy guy here, the Vihari boy. So Vihari, I'll just read a couple of questions first so that it will be easy for you to answer. Uh,
Sure.
first one, very, very famous question. Is this the Paytm demonetization movement for Urban Kisan? The COVID.
Okay.
And
Do-
the other question for you is very, very interesting too. As this company is into urban cultivation, my question would be how they are managing fixed cost and delivery to with competitive price.
Okay, interesting question. So the first thing is this our Paytm moment? Maybe yes, I would say, because it has become suddenly very important for everyone to eat clean food, and it's very apparent in the number of orders we are getting every day. We're almost getting sold out every day, and thankfully we have our delivery partners. We are on Swiggy, we are on Dunzo, all of that. So they've been working a lot to get these orders out on time, and we have since we don't have any supply issue because most of our farms are in the city, and we grow there and we sell there, so we don't have much of movement, and we try to grow, and as much as demand we can serve, we are trying to serve that at this point. The second question was,
Sorry. Yeah. Second one is about how this managing fixed costs and deliveries with competitive price.
yeah. So to understand our farms, we generally have about 3,000 square feet farm. Every farm is of that size, and the amount of production we do in that space is equivalent to almost 2 acres of soil farming. So we grow more than 30 times the production in that space, and it generally is a 365-day production. So we have more than 4 to 5 tons of production coming out of that space, and we use very less resources. So the way we are able to compete with the prices is simple. So we are not a premium product at all. We sell at the same price, but we tend to give 10x better product than what you generally buy in the market. The way we do that is there is zero middleman costs. We have zero wastage because it's a farm. If it is not harvested today, it will get harvested tomorrow. So we have zero wastage, zero storage. There is no refrigerators in our farm. Zero transportation. We are in the city. There isn't much movement involved. So since a lot of these costs are cut down, the only cost for us is the marketing cost. So we try to get this out to the direct consumer from the farm to fork. So all our other costs are very limited. So we scale very fast, and we're very less capital intensive. So that's how we compete with the prices.
It leads me to the other question. You said, fine, marketing, I'll take care of it, Vihari, but that's okay. But the other question, which is very important here, is like, because you said the less investment cost. A lot of people are asking, what is the investment that goes into setting up one urban farm, and what are your plans of expanding to other cities, and do you have a franchise model? Yeah.
Interesting. So we do have a franchise model, and we set up. There are two kinds of farms. One is an urban farm, which is a customer facing farm. There is a suburban farm. So suburban farm concept is a very interesting concept. Let's say, for example, you have a land, and that is unused at this point of time. It's not making any money for you. So what we do is we try to be the OYO of farming, where you have an asset. We will try to add value to that asset and get you a recurring revenue by building a farm on top of that land, and we buy back the whole produce. So the way we scale is we try to use a lot of assets which people already have, and there is we generally, the franchise cost is very less in terms of, it's anywhere between 30 to 40 lakhs depending on the size and scale of the project. So in that way we scale very fast because we're very less capital intensive as a company.
Thank you, Vihari. You scale fast, you grow fast. So we are always there for you, man. So, but frankly, the kind of questions we are getting, people are staying at home. They are very hungry. First, the majority of the questions came to thick shakes and Urban Kisan. They need vegetables. They need shakes. So it's like after, I don't know what happens after lockdown. Mere hathiyo or sathiyo. Okay. So the next, I think we'll move to Pavan for the questions. So Pavan, there are very couple of interesting questions. How is space policy in India? Does it hinder the private space tech industry in any way? Because people wanted to know about space policy and how it is affecting the private thing. And the other question is like, has your company begun manufacturing the rockets or testing the hardware and software systems?
Yeah. So the first question is regarding the policy. So typically, government has put up something called Space Activities Bill Draft in 2017. That was the time when even a company was not formed. So government has shown good intent into privatizing the sector. It's clearly mentioned that government wants to privatize the sector. It wants more companies to flow in. It wants like a lot of things happening in the private sector when it comes to space. So that is one good intent which has been presented in the government in 2017 itself, and that also like is one of the motivations behind like starting a company mid 2018. Then the second part is like regulation in space sector is very tricky, and it requires a lot of to and fro interactions with the government. That's what we are doing right now, and we're expecting to have a space act coming to India probably this year or next year, which will create a clear regulatory framework for all the space sector, the private space sector people to operate on. So right now that process is going on, setting it up. We are constantly interacting with them, and also like we are in talks with the government to give special permissions. Just even if the act doesn't come in before we launch our product, we are looking for special permissions from the PMO where we start getting into operations before like the full-fledged regulations are set up legally. So these are the two things which we are doing. So regulations are part
Awesome.
and parcel. It goes along with building the product. Then the second question is like, yeah, we are in the manufacturing part of the phase, and we have tested like many subsystems. So the next 1 year, we are expect next 1.5 year, we expect to do most of the subsystem testing and be ready for launch. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So last one more question to you, Pavan. Like one is about how does a non-STEM space enthusiast need to get to work in Skyroad? Someone with math and science till 12th. Uh,
Uh, s- till 12th, you mean?
yeah. See, someone is a non-STEM space
Okay.
enthusiast. STEM
Yeah.
is like
Okay.
science and technology. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
How should I? What I should learn to get to work in Skyroad if I'm an
Yeah.
enthusiast? Yeah.
Yeah. So typically, if you want something to get done, the degrees and your background is least important. There are people who within few months get a really crux of a problem, whether it is whatever deep science or deep tech, space, etc., etc. So if you really want to get things done, you can actually start afresh, and within just probably a few months, you can get an initial view of the sector, about the tech, and get on the sector. That is one thing. But that you need to be really, really good at that. Otherwise, because there's a lot of competition from people who are already trained in this sector. And the second thing is that there are non-tech things. So for example, business development. There's looking at business analysts posts. A lot of people who we need actually a good amount of people down the line for doing business analysis, analyzing the markets, and also like for customer acquisition also. So there are like typical roles which are common to other sectors as well, which can be targeted. Other than that, like there's always scope of starting afresh and then competing against them.
So, any plans of using reusable rockets, like
Yes, in fact,
in the
like
future?
the thing is that currently we are building smaller rockets for small satellites, which is like more better to be one shot. You use them once and use it. That is cheaper. But when it comes to bigger rockets, like you might be seeing what SpaceX is doing, their reusability comes into picture, which gives a very major economic gains. So we are also in plans of building bigger launch vehicles which are fully reusable.
Awesome. So, I have your mail ID, so I can send my resume any day if I need. Okay,
Sure,
sure.
sure, sure.
Thank you. If I can't sell anything, I can sell rockets. So the next, I think, guys, the next we'll just move to the next question will be to the drones guy. Prem, you're online, right? Or you are spraying?
Listening.
Yeah.
Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Because whenever I talk to Prem, these days I ask, are you spraying? So while helping the community in the difficult times of COVID-19, how are you ensuring the safety of your team while working openly with the community? Because this disease is known to be communicable. So what are the safety measures which you are taking? And the second one is like, have you explored to use drones for logistics or any strategic applications?
So first, like everybody's saying, we've been using the same masks and gloves and sanitizers. I can send you the photos that you can understand, because at present I have run live. I can take pictures and send it to you. So we've been working now on ground with the municipal people. So we have been not touching people, but we have been touching our hardware, and we've been working in field. But we don't know if whether the people whom we're working have any like more of the they have been suspected or not. We don't know, but we've been trusting them and working with them. So, second is we are not at all planning anything on logistics at present, because anything payload as per DGCA, it doesn't go at present to use it. So I think we're sticking to our own products and go in depth than adding new products.
Prem, I think there are some more people who joined in your area. Yeah.
Like
Hello.
I didn't understand. Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. And you're outside, so I'm just worried. Yeah.
No, I'm in the car. I think. Yeah.
Okay. So the other, I think we'll have a lot of people are asking me questions also, but I'll not answer. We'll take those questions offline. I'll give my mail ID to you because we have Chesba Sukendra.
Yeah.
You're online, right? Yeah. So Sukendra, I'll just ask a couple of questions. Will Chesba promote a social service trust regarding civil engineering called Smart Infrastructure? That is first. And India is a home of non-profit organizations. What challenge you face to get typical Indian non-profit organization on board, in spite of they are in big need of your solution?
Okay. So answering the first question, we only work with non-profit organizations. So as long as it's a foundation trust, you can have revenues, but as long as you're not making profits, we work with you. We will provide our volunteering support with you. Moving on to the next question, that's true. In fact, we have a very global team, and one of the reasons of us starting up in India, more specifically in Hyderabad, is because here is where we are close to the market. In fact, we did have opportunities to move the company to more developed places, but the logic being here we are much closer to our market. There are more than 3 million nonprofits out of the total 10 million registered nonprofits. At least 30% of them are in India alone. So clearly, there's a huge market here. But the biggest challenge we face with the Indian market is language. We're very vernacular, right? Diverse languages. So it's kind of difficult. And as a platform, particularly we matching them with international volunteers as well, we can only cater to a percentage of the total nonprofits available. The long-term solution is to have the product in vernacular languages as well. But for now, it's we are only catering to those nonprofits which could at least speak English, at least one person in the organization who could speak English, and also which are tech savvy enough to access mails and all. So of course the market keeps on expanding as we try to educate more and more nonprofits, but it is in fact very challenging. The biggest markets for nonprofits are India and Africa, and both of them are quite backward in terms of tech savviness.
Awesome. Just, I think Sukendra, you can work with every startup, I guess, because they're also non-profit, right? No profit. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Then it's fair enough. So Sandeep, I have a question here for you. Like, is a business strategy going to change if this COVID situation drags for a long time? Because sales and marketing and people strategy get affected. So any strategy change in plan now?
Right.
Yeah.
I think definitely one immediate thing. I mean, when you say COVID situation extending, I'm assuming it's not regarding the lockdown, but the overall virus scare and reduced outdoor activity. And the work from home part of it. So one thing is definitely we are going to reevaluate all of our unit economics once again to kind of assess the situation. So once the market is back up and people are starting to go out, and then there are advertisers who are interested to advertise. So we'll kind of get a fair assessment of the actual situation post-COVID. Obviously, when we do revise the unit economics, we'll have to start right from our hardware costs to the driver payouts to what do we charge the customer. So all of that. So right now we obviously had a bunch of verticals we wanted to enter into with the new fund that we have raised. But now we'll be closely reevaluating all of them, and maybe we'll have to say more no's than yes over the next 12 months. But yeah, that being said, we're just very focused on cash flow in terms of not just revenue generation, but also cash outflow. So hopefully, because we were very lucky to close the fund closed the investment round just in January, like literally a couple of months back. We are safe for now, so we're not in the market anytime soon for fundraise. But yeah, we are taking all measures necessary to kind of make the business more sustainable.
And if you have more money in the bank, please support other startups also. Yeah. Okay. So there's one question that is directed to me, so I think I'll also answer that. It's like, do you think this will be the perfect time to start a startup or not a perfect time? Sandeep, do you want to chip in? This is a perfect time to start a new startup?
I personally look at recession times as a great opportunity, more so because people are in general very open-minded, especially after this lockdown. I'm sure no one would say no to a meeting because people are just dying to meet people, right? So I think yeah, more doors are open, people are more welcoming, and people are more humane, I should say. So that leaves us, I mean, not just us, but any new venture that's coming up with more opportunities during downtime. That's one thing that will happen where people are desperate for any additional revenue. So any good ideas that can generate meaningful revenue to anyone would always be welcome. So that's a good opportunity. Well, that being said, obviously raising funds is super difficult. So for startups starting now, it would mostly be friends and family for the first 15 months, and that's almost always the case unless you're an ex-entrepreneur. Yeah, I think now is a good time to really start thinking, and by the time of post-recession, you'll just be flying.
All the attendees know whom to call now after this meeting. We'll share Sandeep's mail ID. So we can always get some funds there. Okay. So there is like, Vihari, how can we order greens, man? What is the process? All the attendees want to know also, I guess. How should we order for Urban Kisan? Should we go to a website?
Yeah, that's as simple as it is. So you go to our website, urbankisan.com, or if you place an order before 9 o'clock today, and then you'll get it tomorrow. Or you can just
Any
open
area
your
in Hyderabad?
Yeah, mostly 80% of the Hyderabad is covered. So you can just either online order on our website, or you can open Swiggy or Dunzo, and then you'll find it in our stores. So simple as that.
So do we get a discount, anything or something like that? Okay.
We're giving the best. We're giving the best at this point. So yeah.
Okay. So frankly, it was one of the best discussions I had in this recent past. I think I've tried to ask everyone on the panel. So
Charan,
one thing as a funny.
Charan, funny here. I'd like to actually give you the plug to talk about Stumax and also your experience. There is one question, there are many questions coming to you, wanting to know more about Stumax. So this is your plug to talk about your business also. And also there is one question which says, how do I enter into a Forbes 30 under 30 Asia list? I'm an aspirant. So I think, with that question and
We can wind up.
Stumax, I'd like you to, yeah.
Actually, I reserved that Forbes question to be a final one to everyone. So before that, Stumax, we started out as integrating all campuses on one platform because we felt we should target one set of population in India, which is youth, and which is only 50% of India. So 50% of India is in under 25. So we thought, let's target this segment, bring them on one platform. Currently, we are around 3.5 lakh students as subscribers. We did different activities with different people. So currently, we are engaging students with webinars and quizzes every day. Do visit Stumax app. So every day, 7 o'clock, you have a quiz. And we work with different companies to create challenges. Like now we have people on the panel also. So we are in plans of discussing with everyone to come up with unique marketing challenges so that people can come with new ideas, and especially students have more crazier ideas. So, and I'll answer, I think you can visit Stumax on the Play Store, STUMAGZ. and we will take charan@stumax.com. You can reach out to me on all possible social media. So coming to the second question, maybe everyone can answer after. I think I'll answer first, so that it's been 2 years. Forbes 30 under 30 was a kind of a uh, movement where you get onto the first page of a newspaper. So how do you get into Forbes? Forbes was a very stringent application process, and you need to answer decent number of questions there. So any aspirant, I was just thinking like, how will I get eyeballs? And the first thing which I did, I still remember in my Forbes application, which is so memorable even for today. Who was your inspiration? And when we wrote Barack Obama's and Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson, and after you get into Forbes list, Sir Richard Branson mails you personally and says, "Good job." So that's what a Forbes thing does to a lot of people. It helps you in getting the right visibility, and all the aspirants keep doing great work. And I suggest people to step forward and apply for it, because it helps you to get the right eyeballs. And all the aspirants, all the list members in 2020 also, in the last 2 days, they might have understood, because they are in the honeymoon period now. They are getting the kind of PR which they would not have got, at least doing lots of things. So I'll ask maybe Ashwin, how is being in Forbes, and what is your one advice to the people uh, for the who are the aspirants there? Yeah.
Charan, I think it's been unreal. Like from yesterday morning onwards, my phone, my social handles, my WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, everything is just flooded with so much of positivity and love coming in from every one of them. It actually, for the last couple of days, I actually didn't see the total stat count of how many people are affected with corona and all. So it's very positive to see so many number of people supporting out there, like the total number of people who are reaching out and conveying their regards. So I think it's amazing what Forbes can actually do. A lot of reporters are calling for some interviews and bites like that, and we're getting featured. KTR sir has tweeted our this thing, and it's just unreal what's happening.
How
But
many
I
of you?
think if you, yeah,
How many hours
Karan?
that you? How many hours that you became a billionaire?
Yeah, I think just a couple of them, because I think they're confused between Forbes 30 under 30 billionaires list and Forbes 30 under 30. So I think some people have actually got confused and are asking what is the requirement that is needed for you to be eligible for it. Um Again, I think I don't think the only thing that I've done for being featured on Forbes 30 and 30 is what Charan told, that is to apply. So apart from just the application process, there is nothing much I've done towards the entire process of it. It is just a matter of application, and as long as you're focusing on your work and you're trying to do a good job with your company and your business, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what is the criteria, because they've even mentioned that even if you're funded, that does not mean that you're qualifying for Forbes. So we are not a funded company, we're a bootstrap company. And to be recognized here and under the Forbes brand, it's just an amazing experience. So I don't know if there is any strict, uh, a journey or a shortcut to getting to be featured. But I would just say that after 6 years of working hard for building a brand of this stature, I think this is just a silver lining to it.
Good one, Pavan. Your experience with the whole thing. I guess we lost the connection.
I think Pavan is on
Hello.
mute.
He's on. He's on.
Yeah.
Hello. Able to hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, it was not in my mind to apply for Forbes anytime. So one fine day, what happened was one journalist from Forbes directly contacted me. I don't know how she got my number. Contacted me and told we should definitely apply, and she gave all the details, and then I applied, and then there was this Forbes 30 under 30 India list, which has come up very early. So I was that time I was not knowing the difference between India list and Asia list also. So I thought like India list has already come up and my name is not there in it. So I thought like anyway application is gone already. But then like I did a night out recently and then like I woke up at 1 p.m. and then I saw a mail from Forbes saying that you got selected and this is official and you can share it and all that. Before that itself, like a lot of people started messaging me all that. So it's been a phenomenal experience. First of all, it's unexpected. And second thing is that I think the work spoke for itself, and the people have reached out to people, and then like you were saying that some interesting work has been going on, some interesting entrepreneurs are there. Why don't you go and contact them? So that's how it all started. I think instead of I think there's no specific way to prepare for getting into work. It's like the work stands for itself. If you're building something really great, I think automatically it gets recognized, and it's they'll approach you, and you can apply and most probably you get selected. But after getting selected, it was amazing. A lot of people connecting, a lot of PR, especially locally. There's a lot of PR. A lot of companies don't know locally. I mean, like within Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, a lot of people don't know about our company. A lot of people came to know. A lot of people started contacting me. There's a lot of big guys internationally started messaging me on LinkedIn. Looking for collaborations, etc. So it's been a phenomenal experience as of now. And like Ashwin said, even I did not see those COVID statistics in the last 1 or 2 days. So it's like a really phenomenal experience which I had with Forbes, and I hope that you concentrate on the work, and that will speak for itself.
Guys, I think we are almost nearing the time of completion. So, Prem, a quick word. So anyone, so funny sir, or else you can just give the final. I think, or Prem is not connected. Maybe Sandeep.
Hello. Yeah. So, Charan, I mean, one thing obviously we all are aware of, and I would like to call out is Forbes is actually more of the organization's achievement rather than the individual's achievement. In my case,
Absolutely.
at least I can speak for myself that it's entirely Aaron Moore's work that led me into Forbes, and it's hardly got anything to do with me. So that being said, I would echo what everyone has said. So once you're just focusing, your company is very focused on building stuff. I think recognition is only a byproduct. And then in my case, I was nominated by one of the ex-Forbes member. Last year, also I was nominated. Charan also nominated me this year. So, but yeah, it's of course a lot to do with luck and a lot to do with your team. More than anything to do with you as an individual. That's my opinion.
Anything, Sukendra?
I would definitely echo with most of what the other guys said as well. It's a lot about your work and your team's work. It's definitely a team game. It's most of us here, as CEOs, we probably get the limelight, but the truth is the effort has been of the team and will be of the team. So personally, to all the 6 companies as well, I would definitely appreciate all the teams there. I think the guys have done extremely good job, which is the reason why we have this opportunity. And I'd like to put it as this is more of an opportunity to take the company forward from here. It's not success yet. It's just a launch pad for us, as Pavan would like to put it, maybe.
Awesome. Anyone? Yari, last final statement.
Yeah, thanks, TiE again. And I would like to quote Y Combinator's famous quote. Says that make something what people want, so everything else will fall in place if you do that. And and I was fortunately being nominated by Funny Sir, who's part of TiE, and that's how I got into Forbes, and it's been an amazing journey till now. Thanks.
Great. I think we covered everyone. Premise. So just like there was another question also in between, people might be confused. What is nomination? Every Forbes list member can nominate any entrepreneur for the next year, and that nomination doesn't assure a listing, but it will always act as a kind of a good thing on application. Someone asked a question, apart from the hard work, what else do you need to be a successful entrepreneur? This was a nice one. I think I thought of answering this by myself. Apart from the hard work, what else you need to be successful entrepreneur? Surround yourself with right people. Ecosystems like TiE, you should always surround yourself with right people around you, so that it will always help, because you're always an average of 5 whom you are surrounded with. So if you help each other, and this is this kind of current situation, I personally feel all the startups should get together, help each other, work with each other, become a customer to another startup, or become a client to another startup, encourage and share work resources. So you can always be successful if you know how to keep your head above the water. And success is always around the corner, but you don't know where is the corner. So thank you all attendees. It has been a great audience, around close to, during the whole session, around 400 plus people in and out, consistently around 150 to 180 people now. Even now, around 135 to 140 people are live listening to this. And I request Funny sir to give closing statements.
Thank you, Charan. That was wonderful and encouraging message to all the startups. Thank you for bringing all the knowledge and your hard work into play, and while you're telling us what you guys did to be what you are. This is to all the entrepreneurs who are listed in 2020 Forbes list. Thanks so much for your time. I know that I had to really squeeze in and chase you guys from that morning. We saw the announcement onwards. Thanks for taking time and coming on the platform all together. It's a great opportunity and occasion for TiE and also the startup ecosystem that is all tuned in and listening to us. Very happy. Love you guys. Stay safe. Stay connected. And for all those people who have not been a part of this webinar, we will put the recording on TiE web pages under TiE Talk. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great weekend. Bye bye.